G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James.
Hi everybody, I'm Steve.
We're doing Pip action again today. Okay, I'll be...
What's Pip?
Picture in picture. I'll be completely honest. I did it last week in my YouTube video, and I only mentioned that I would do it again maybe for these videos where either Steve was involved, we're going to do casual chats, or... But then so many people were like, oh, I love it, and I was thinking, oh no, I hope I haven't set a precedent.
So you gave it to the pressure.
Yeah, because I can't just be doing my voiceovers in my pajamas anymore.
No, I know the PJs and facing the computer.
Yeah, and...
No,
anyway, looking a hot mess. Now I actually have to put myself together. Anyway, this is, Steve and I are going to be having a random conversation today, and I've got one of those random videos, so it actually does make sense. But just to reiterate, I'm not going to be doing Pip action for every video from now on. It's just more of these laid-back ones where I'm going to do lots of journaling on camera, and then I've either got Steve with me, or I've got a lot of information to share with you, or just like a general chat, and I've, pulled myself together. Those are the conditions. Anyway, so today on screen, I have already pre-filmed it, so I do know what you're watching this time. It's I'm going to be working in my journals with Collage Club printables. So I know I explained a lot about that last week in that super heavy informational video, but this week I just wanted to show you some of the ones that I've been working on in January and in February. Both are up on Collage Club now, so you can go and check that out. The link is in the description below if you want to join. It is a good way to also support this channel. I didn't mention this last week, but I've over the years been asked how many different ways people could show support, and I've never really signed up for like coffee, or even when they used to do tip jar or something. I never really signed up for any of those things, just because I always had products to sell, so I just assumed if people wanted to support the channel they would buy a washi tape or something, and then you'd actually get something for it. So this is, I guess, another way for you to support if you want to support this channel for some reason. You don't have to. It's there for you if you want to. But I just thought I'd mention that because people do ask from time to time. It's very generous, but I also think it's a very American thing to want to tip people. And like, I was never raised with tipping. This is going to start a whole conversation.
I mean, it is a way for people to say, hey, we appreciate you and we appreciate what you're doing. Yeah,
and I really do think there's a cultural difference because, like, I wouldn't do it if I didn't want to. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's weird to sometimes be offered a tip, or, I don't know, culturally it just seems weird because it's like, oh no, I'm not doing it to be paid. I do appreciate it, but you should get something. But then...
Is it culturally for you to go to somebody's house not empty-handed?
Yeah, I also go empty-handed. I was just raised differently.
So maybe it's not culturally, maybe it's just a Burke thing.
Yeah, maybe. Look, honestly, not all the time. I do think sometimes I'll go with food. Like, I'll bring a wine, or I'll bring so that's
like
not empty-handed.
Flower? No, that's not empty-handed.
No, I would never bring flowers. That's a you thing.
I like bringing flowers to people. Because I like receiving flowers.
Also a Japanese thing.
Flowers?
No, to bring a gift to someone's house.
Always.
Yeah.
It's a way to say thank you. It's the same type of idea with tipping.
Well, tipping always had me really confused, and I made many a mistake at many different rehearsal periods not tipping correctly. So these days, fun
just
fact,
double the tax.
I actually just give Steve the bill, and I'll pay for it just so he can figure out the tip.
I'm happy to do that. I get dinner out of it.
Yes, he gets dinner as long as he deals with it. I don't want to deal with it. It's too much. Anyway, moving on. We don't really have any topics of conversation today, so I thought I'd pull out a fun game that we used to play all the time. It's fun questions to ask someone.
We have been in work mode.
My voice is a little scratchy. You maybe don't hear it, but I might cough or like do whatever.
We have a big launch coming up. As I like to say.
It's called conversationstartersworld.com. Random questions to ask a guy list. Specifically for guys. Oh. So do not ask these to women. The wrong questions for women.
Oh my goodness. All right.
What was the last thing you created? Oh, by the way, feel free to play along. Only if you're a guy, though. No, I have two answers. I really don't care. Yeah, please play along if you would like to. You don't even have to list the question. I like to read the answers sometimes. What what's the last thing you created?
The last thing that we created together was some album artwork for a musician friend.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Skipped my mind because I've done like 60 other things since last night.
And I'm currently working on another creation right now.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the thing that we can't say, that you will see next Monday if you're a part of Virtual Voyage. That is really exciting. I can't wait to share that. Who is a better cook, your mother or grandmother?
Different.
I think my gran was a better cook. She was a chef in the Navy.
Well, that's probably why.
So, like, obviously. But also my mum has been known to get very experimental. Like baby octopus on top of a salad experimental.
Just like throw the baby octopus on top of the salad.
Baby octopus as a garnish experimental. Although I do like my mum's cooking, and she does a mean Aussie breakfast.
She also does a potato bake and
pavlova.
What's the thing? The candy thing.
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road. Rocky Road. I think Rocky Road. It's been a rocky road. Yeah. She also does a really good. It's like a breakfast muffin. It's puff pastry in a muffin dish, but then she puts an egg, bacon, and tomato in there with pepper. Oh, so good. So bad for you.
See, in my family, my grandma, she cooks a lot of traditional Ecuadorian food. And so she does the meat with the rice and the beans and then the fried plantains, the maduro, as we say. And so she knows how to cook that, and she cooks it super well. And my mom is just a different type of cook.
Is it weird to talk to each other like this?
Not really.
It's so weird because I'm talking to you, but at a camera. Are you used to this?
I am.
Steve's media trained, so he gets it. Whereas I am just naturally a weirdo that can speak to a camera for an hour straight.
You just have to stay engaged either way.
Well, because I feel like if I look at you like this, like I don't want to reveal this side of my face. What if I'm not put together on this angle?
So then
I'm only put together from front angles.
So then you do kind of a slight listen,
one of these,
and then a slight here, and then you look back at the camera and you engage with the audience that way.
Free tips, folks, from a media trained professional. What book do you wish would be turned into a movie? Child, I don't read books. And the ones I read them because they were movies that I liked.
I don't read enough currently to... Oh, Find Me.
Oh, and they're doing it?
The sequel to Call Me By Your Name.
I think they're doing it.
I believe it's in talks.
Is there an app that you hate but use anyways?
No comment?
Is there one?
I don't know if I hate them. Sometimes they don't present as much joy as they used to because of the obligation that comes along with it.
So you hate Instagram?
I don't hate Instagram. I'm very thankful for Instagram.
So you hate YouTube?
I don't hate YouTube. I'm very thankful for YouTube.
I
don't think I hate now. No.
Well, I was going to say, you don't have the Etsy app on your phone, so you couldn't hate that.
No, or I don't have TikTok.
I turn notifications off, so A, why I don't respond to people very quickly. B, also keeps me sane. I just cannot deal with the constant notifications. Even like when Steve texts, I don't read it straight away.
I know, it's terrible. What happens if there's an emergency?
Pretend it's the 90s.
And then I try calling you, and then
I don't answer that either because I turn my phone on silent. I cannot stand the phone. You have to understand, Steve, which you do understand, but I'm speaking to the audience by way of you. I didn't have a phone for so long. I lived in the middle of the ocean where there was no reception. To get on Wi-Fi was like $2 a minute. So I learned to live as an adult without social media, without a phone. I would engage with it frequently when I was in port, but it wasn't wrapped up in a daily lifestyle. Like I wouldn't just grab my phone to check it. It would be an intentional, I'm going to sit down for 20 minutes at this cafe to do my catch up. The rest of the day was like exploring ports or going to pools and bars and dancing. And like it was a completely different experience.
That excuse is going to last you to the end of the year, and then you need a new one.
Why?
Because no more.
It's literally been so long since I've had that life.
Right. So it's like...
No, but I got my phone in 2017. So what am I now? 3 years in?
4.
I guess it's been long enough.
Been long enough.
Well, that's why I turned it off silent. See, I'm trying to I
don't mind the silence. I think there's a good balance between understanding being obsessed with your phone and not being obsessed with your phone. But there is a phone call. No, you're good about answering your phone, though. That's the thing. You always answer your phone. So I don't know what you're talking about.
That's sweet, because I don't. What was the last thing that you fixed? I'm not a fixer-upper. You, Steve, fixes? No.
The tires.
You did not fix those.
I put air in the tires. That's like a
and
fix-it
they're not
type
fixed.
It's kind of a fix-it thing.
We need new tires. Riveting conversation.
The last thing I fixed.
Fixed?
I haven't really fixed anything. Repair. No. That's like a repair thing, correct?
Yeah, I literally don't. Oh, you fixed your Photoshop because it was glitching.
I restarted the computer.
That's fixed it. Could you survive in the wilderness for a month?
Not a month. But I could survive for maybe a couple days.
I'd like to think I could, but it would have to be out of pure necessity, like survival mode. It couldn't be a choice. If I had a choice to opt out, like Survivor or something, I'd be out.
I was a Royal Ranger.
Royal Ranger?
Royal.
Royal Ranger?
That's a Royal Ranger.
Royal Randwick Racecourse. Say that.
What?
Royal Randwick Racecourse. Say that 5 times fast.
Royal Randwick Racecourse. Royal Randwick Racecourse. Royal Randwick Racecourse. Royal Randwick Racecourse. Royal Randwick Racecourse.
You're professional. You have to be good at everything, Steve.
Was it a multi, was it hyphen, not hyphenate, a multi?
Yeah, multi-hyphenate powerhouse?
No, is that what it, no, it's not multi-hyphenate, is that what it is?
That's...
Somebody who's good at multiple things?
Oh, I don't know.
Multi-fit, I don't know.
Multifaceted?
No, there's like a hyphenate word.
That's what I thought it was.
It's called like...
A multi-hyphenate. But I don't even know what that means.
It's like you're just good at
I used to tell people...
You're a jack of all trades, king of none.
Well, yeah, when they would say... Well, first of all, do tell people that. But I used to have a joke that when people would say, like, oh, I sing and I dance. And I do a bit of acting. And they're like...
triple threat.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, a triple threat? I'm just a threat. I'm just a regular threat in everything. I was like, I sing, I dance, I act, I model.
People are out here trying to do I'm a quadruple threat. And I go, that's not what that's about. You don't need a model when you're on stage. Well, maybe you do, depending on the role, but...
Speak for yourself. What piece of technology brings you the most joy? Ironic that they ask you about an app that you hate, but if you love the phone that brings it to you.
Technology that brings you the most joy? Movies?
So, cinema?
Yeah.
What is that?
Technology.
Yeah. Telly? I love telly.
Well, I think
I don't have enough time to watch it.
Yeah, I think telly's a part of it. But even when we do start watching telly, like, I'm out within 15 minutes.
Always. Which used to be an issue that you had with me.
Yeah, because I want to share that experience with you. But now we've been married for almost 5 years, and I'm good with it.
And we've been in lockdown for one of them. Honestly, it's a miracle that we're both still here.
And on camera together.
On camera. Next to each other.
No, the last couple of nights, I had passed out.
Yeah, and it's sad because I really get into it. And the ones that I really get into are the ones you're out for. Like, and that doesn't happen a lot, that we find something we could both be into. Because I get on these weird kicks where I'll watch 60 Days In, or like then go and watch American Dad, and then all this random stuff that Steve won't watch. But then we'll put on something like WandaVision, and we're both really into it, and then 5 seconds later...
I'm snoring on the couch.
Mouth so far open, he's going to swallow the television.
I know I
truly
can't help
sight.
it.
Insert photo here.
You're right. I can't help it.
What animal best represents your personality?
Oh, a cat?
Of course. That cat.
That one.
Over there.
No, Bianca.
Trash cat right there.
No, Bianca.
Steve
Sophia.
is Bianca. I used to say that Bianca was Steve's Horcrux. And it's so funny because if you really look closely, they have the same nose profile.
She's the Horcrux of my soul.
And Oliver's very me, except I don't sleep in the trash.
Yeah, he finds any way or any place to sleep wherever or bathe. He's yuck.
What behaviors make you think a person is creepy? Controversial topics.
What behaviors? What
makes you think a person is creepy?
When they look at you like really intently. It's like where people also a lack of personal space.
That's
when people get really in your face. Oh, I might have changed the focus of the camera doing that. Sorry.
It's fine. If it's out of focus for the rest, don't worry about it. Just watch the video.
Don't look at us.
Or just listen. Yeah, podcast it. I don't know if this is really a personality trait.
Was that the question? Personality trait? I don't know if it's personality.
Behaviors.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it creeps me out, and maybe creeps is the wrong word. I think I've changed this whole topic right now. This whole question. But I find it disturbing when people present like a super false modesty. I think it puts me really offside with someone.
Oh, it's horrible. Horrible.
It's horrible. Oh, please, I didn't even do it. Like when people do a really good job at something and you congratulate them or you see them being congratulated or someone says, oh, wow, you did a really good job.
Really great.
Yeah, I believe in modesty. Please, absolutely. I believe in saying, oh, yeah, no, thanks. Like, I had a really good time, or blah, blah, blah. You know, everyone knows to be modest, but people that go out of their way to be false modest, and to a degree, it has to be, like, really far pushed. We were watching this documentary, and this chick had, like, absolutely nailed the choreography.
This
Did
audition.
a
Like, you just
stellar
knew she was
audition.
going to get the role.
There was no doubt
you knew
she was
probably
going to
get
it.
nominated for a Tony Award. You just knew she was going to be great.
Yeah, she came out to the staircase, had a mental breakdown, telling everyone that she was horrible. She was just horrible. Like, please, I look like a dead chicken.
It's
like,
horrible.
To me, it gets me really offside because I think we were playing this mind game all of a sudden with, do you think I think you shouldn't feel as good as you feel about what you should
be good at?
And why would you think I cared enough to judge you for being good at it? And it becomes a really like offside conversation where I suddenly think, oh, we can't be friends.
Well, part of it, I think, is the false sense of modesty is to, I guess, maybe encourage humility in an industry which is otherwise very ego-driven. It's just a very heavy counterweight.
But see, I don't have a problem with, and even with people that have difficult personality traits, I don't have a problem with people just being upfront and honest about it. Because I think the reality is, you're not going to get along with every single person in the world. Not every single person was made to fit your personality type. So I would just rather know up front if you're a very confident, very brash type of person, because that could either suit my personality or it could not suit it. But I don't want you to fake having a different one so that we can get close, just for me to find out that you actually do have that personality underneath, because it will come to light. Amen.
Okay, moving on.
It just gets me really offside, and I feel like it's too much.
We riled him up, folks.
Literally. What's the perfect temperature? No. Boring. Why do these always encourage us to talk about the weather?
Was it April 25th? All you need is a light jacket.
Oh, so triggered. What's the weirdest thing that happened to you in a car?
Oh, no.
If you could fit your whole life into one picture, what would it look like?
Maybe that one.
But you know I can fit a lot into a picture. Maybe a collage. Yeah, that Italy one.
Yeah, that says a lot about me.
I think there's one of me... I think you might have seen it. I've shown it a lot, but it's me asleep in a Dorothy dress.
Yeah, that's a good one of you.
That's probably me all the time.
I don't know. Maybe one at... I don't know. Maybe a Coco picture.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense for me.
If you put out a magazine, what would you name it and what would be in it?
Oh, Fogue.
Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
Fogue is good.
F-A-U-X-G-E.
F-A-U-X-G-E. Foge.
No.
I think you need the G-U-E.
Yeah, that.
F-A-U-X-G-U-E.
Fogue.
Fogue. That's funny. And it would just be... Would it be sartorial?
No. I think it would
be like genuinely honest.
I think there'd be some it has to have satire. The name is Fogue.
Cool. Love that.
Fogue.
Do it, put it out, I'll buy it.
By Steve Lamanis.
Oh, I've put out books before, and every time I do it, I regret the choices I make in the one when I do another one. Like when
you look back at the first one.
When I did the first one, and I thought, wow, I have like transcended graphic design here. No one has done this. No one will ever do this.
You did a really great job.
And it was so awful. I made the second one and was like, what? What did I do? Typewriter font that is like way too big.
And it's also like skewed.
Yeah.
So it looks like Moulin Rouge typewriter.
I mean, I really thought I had done something there. But you know what? I do believe in more than false modesty, false confidence.
That's different.
Yes,
false confidence is different because at least it's boldness.
I believe in boldness. Get into that.
I struggle with that.
If you were challenged to a duel, what weapons would you choose? Wow, this is very violent.
This is very Bridgerton.
Obviously for guys.
Right? No, I don't.
Us dudes, what would you duel me with?
I wouldn't. I'd be like, you can go out there and do it yourself. Yeah, I'll be
words.
I'll be like, yeah, I'll be out there.
Sticks and stones could break your bones. What villain do you really feel for?
What villain do you really feel for?
Maleficent, the live-action movies made me think. If
yeah,
that was her backstory. Like, I do feel for her.
I feel a little bit for... I have empathy, but I don't have sympathy for this person.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Tremaine from the live-action Cinderella.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What is the most interesting thing you could do with 400 pounds of cheddar cheese? What?
eat it.
These are getting real wild.
This is.
What are you really happy about being terrible at?
I don't know if I have that type of confidence.
Who's celebrating that?
Yeah, look at how bad I am.
I am the worst! Yes!
That's weird. Because I feel like that also encourages a weird false modesty, too.
That's like one of those questions. Steve was listening to a video the other day about how to have really good interviews, job interviews.
Oh, yeah.
This is like one of those questions where you twist it on the question. So like, what are you really happy about being terrible at? It's like, I'm really happy that I am terrible at slowing down and not finishing my goals. I always go.
I had a friend. Her dad, she would, excuse me, my friend's dad would always say, like, you know, he randomly goes, you know, I've just been thinking, and, you know, I'm not really bad at anything.
Oh, goodness.
I'm really good at everything.
Give me 5 minutes.
I can play sports. I'm a good person. I can sing. I can do all this stuff. You know, I'm really actually good at pretty much everything. And they all just look at him like, okay. He's like, oh, there is one. I found something that I'm actually not good at. I'm really bad at going on roller coasters. And when she told us this story, everybody in the room was like,
the self-awareness is astounding. And also to have known that like your life had culminated to that much knowledge that really it's just roller coasters left. Like once I get that, I mean, watch out world.
Ugh, no.
Nobel Peace Prize here. I'm good at being good. I'm good at knowing what I'm good at.
And knowing that I'm bad at going on roller coasters.
If there were Internet Olympics, what sports would be in it? I'm going to change that. I don't even know how to change that.
That Internet Olympics.
Internet Olympics. Trolling? Is trolling...
Posting?
Posting consistently.
Yes, right.
Who would win that?
You.
Even I don't. I do post consistently, but
I try
I'm
to
such a
add
harsh
goals,
judge.
but
Like if I've missed it once, like last year I think two Friday videos went up on a Saturday last year.
Oh, so the whole thing's
So I
done.
was like, cancelled. You are cancelled. Get me off.
Excuse me.
What first world problem do you have? Vulnerability. If we could just tone it down for a second.
What first world problem do I have?
Choosing food.
Yeah,
Choosing
that's a
what
good
food
one.
to eat. I think that is something that I constantly get, like, I'm constantly irksome about it, but it is a very first world problem.
What to wear?
Oof.
I changed my outfit many times.
What would be put inside a mental health first aid kit?
Oh.
Maybe we're trying to educate the guys.
Empathy.
Empathy.
Next, I don't like this question.
What conspiracy theory do you actually believe? Okay, truth talk. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but my gran was.
I don't like these questions.
I really struggle, and I hate space, so it's great because I don't really go into this too deep, but I really do believe that there are aliens.
Was it Area 51?
Kills me. Yeah, she watched a documentary on it, and it was on a stupid old VHS, and my gran was telling me that she got it from her brother, who got it from a secret person who wasn't allowed to tell anyone that he had it, otherwise the government would come and get him. This is in Australia, by the way, around Newcastle way, like, no one from the FBI in America cares. Someone on the Central Coast has an old VHS. And she was watching it, and it was like how the Pentagon was linked to this, and how this, like 35 miles underground, there was like alien research centers, and it's all just people with the blacked out screens, with the voice altering,
Right, that's
just
not enough.
stating records, and my grand's sitting there eating it up.
Like,
and,
it's believable.
yeah, and so it's even worse now because sometimes I wonder when I'm watching them, because my grand's in heaven now, I think, is she trying to tell me that this is real?
Goodness.
I
In your
know.
dreams.
It just gets worse.
Gran came to visit me.
I'm
She
like,
told me
Gran
that-
knows now, so is she trying to tell me that this is real? Anyway, so that's as far as I go with conspiracy theories. But
I would agree with that, maybe.
I'm also very gullible. I think as a person, I'm just a bit gullible. I tend to want to believe people before I don't want to believe them. What?
I like the drama surrounding it. I remember somebody said, Walt Disney has his body frozen and is underneath the castle.
Well, and I can't prove that he doesn't.
Well, right, but the reality of all of that and the health codes and everything else that goes with it, I'm like, no, that's not true. But what if he was?
No, definitely. I don't believe... I think people can get away with anything. I think anything can happen. That's why I think everything could have happened. So if you're going to tell me and present a convincing case, although the worst part is if someone presents the opposite case and it's just as easily debunked, then my mind is in a free fall. Like, I don't know what to believe anymore. I lack critical thinking skills when it comes to conspiracy theories.
Which is funny because you are one of the most one of the most intense critical thinkers that I know. He can debunk anything. In another life, James is a lawyer.
I suspend disbelief when I'm hearing conspiracies, just to fully engage with them.
I guess it is nice to have balance, otherwise...
At the end of the day, these are just very creative people with very creative stories.
I mean, otherwise, that's where fairy tales come in.
Conspiracies.
And myths.
I'm fascinated to know how all of those fairy tales got given the happier endings. Like, why was that? Because so many of those fairy tales came from such darker places.
Like The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, and why were they as popular back then with the darker endings as they are now?
Possibly. They could. I don't know this. This is just my thought. Could they have been used to provide bribes or lessons for children? Like, don't be like the Little Mermaid. Careful.
Yeah, keep your tail.
Yeah.
Don't wish for legs. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't fall in love with someone you're not supposed to be in love with.
There is that, a meme where it's like, don't lie to children and blah, blah. And then it just explains all the different lies we tell to children. Like, if you don't eat this, My mum used to tell me that if I ate my crusts, my hair would go curly. And I had pretty bone straight hair as a kid. And I really wanted curly hair. So if I didn't eat my crusts, I wouldn't get the curly hair that I wanted. And so here I am chowing down on crusts. Like loaves of bread, just crusts gone.
All the carbs.
Requesting the ends.
The ends of the bread. That's so funny.
Asking the bakery if they can do full crust versions of their bread.
Can I just get the outside?
Plot twist, my hair did curl. This isn't a wand. This is real.
Maybe she was right. Maybe she was on something.
They say that old wives' tales, mother's tales?
Old wives' tales.
Old wives' tales. Was it mother's remedies? Mother's potions?
I don't know. That's like...
We're getting Renaissance-y here. I'm not involved.
We're getting Middle Ages here.
I cannot. Oh, the cat's cute. Sorry, the cat's sleeping. I'm distracted by that cat sleeping in glorious sunlight.
And then when we're done here and we go back to work, he'll follow me to my desk.
He's got a weird obsession with Steve. And I wouldn't... I know...
I'm the Pied Piper of cats.
For real. Cats aren't that affectionate. Although I've always been lucky and had very affectionate cats. I never used to believe Bianca was that affectionate, but she's really come around.
She's super affectionate.
But I don't know cats to want to be close to you all the time. Like, all my cats have just wanted their own space and time. They would come to you whenever they want something. That cat, Oliver, is addicted to Steve and has separation anxiety from Steve. We think it's because when he was little... He spent the most time, snuggled up against Steve. I have no idea.
What's the thing that they call when the birds hatch and they, the first thing that they say to
I
mother?
know. I think in Australia they call that, don't they call that kangarooing or pouching? When they hold the baby when they're first born?
Excuse me.
I think I've said
There's
that
a
wrong.
word, and I know that we know it, and I'm sure it'll pop up in the chat, but when they connect to the first thing they see, which ends up becoming their mother.
Yeah, it's that attachment that happens there. But anyway, I think Oliver might have done that at some point with Steve. But also, I think
because I was the one who would feed him and clean out his box and make sure that he would go into the bathroom, make sure that he was okay. I would check in on him.
Give him lots of food.
Well, that cat can eat.
Well, you would go to work all the time outside of the house, and I think Oliver just got used to me being around all the time, therefore always available and less special. And then Steve would go out to work and come home. So he'd be in the morning and evenings. And you worked pretty much every day outside the house. And so I think he just became desperate for Steve. But it was probably ever since we went into stay-at-home orders last year, you have been home more, and that makes him even more happy because he gets more of you, therefore more food, more attention.
Well, because if I don't feed him, he knocks stuff over.
Yeah, I told you this story.
It's all right. It is what it is.
Because there are specific things Oliver will do that he knows upset Steve, but he won't do the same to me. He'll try it sometimes, but ironically enough, it's only when Steve's around. So it's like he's punishing me for taking Steve from him. But Oliver figured out doors, which is great. He can let himself out of anywhere.
Yeah.
And he also figured out that if he wanted anything, he just had to make noise when when he wanted to sleep. So he's found many, many, many great ways of making noise, but he doesn't meow very well. Like he's got
He's a weird voice box. It's like a squeaker.
Yeah, he's got like a little squeaker. He sounds like a pigeon or like a little baby.
Yeah.
Like a little cat, a kitten. So he runs into the bathroom and hops into the tub because there's an echo, and he'll do all of his meowing in the tub so that it echoes through the house, and then comes back out and then sits on top of Steve's computer, which has broken. Something's wrong with that screen. He also this was weird.
He knocked it over when I was recording a thing several months ago.
Oh yeah, he pushed it off the thing.
Well, that some of you may have seen, but I had my computer set up and he wanted attention. I'm working and he wanted attention, and he knocked over the books that the computer was sitting on and it cracked the screen.
He's so agile. Like, this cat can do anything he wants, but if you like get angry at him, like if he's on my desk and there's paint jars set up and paint and brushes and pencils and pens, and I'll like clap at him and say, Oliver, go. Then he'll pretend like he doesn't know how to use his legs and swipe at everything as he's going.
And everything just falls.
It's like if you got angry at someone and they left their house, they just like use their arms like an octopus to knock everything over. He does that. The worst thing I saw him do was he got up in the kitchen and pulled open the cupboard and pulled a glass out and pushed it on the floor. Smashed. Cut. Okay. Sorry for that jump cut. That's kind of it. That's the cats. That's all our conversations. Hopefully you had a fun time listening to that. Do you have anything else you want to plug?
Plug. I've actually, on my Instagram, I've got
a cat.
How can I say this? I've been doing what I call Flip Fridays, and I take a variety of different magazines, typically Vogue's, and I go through and I flip through the editorials and I just kind of talk about them. And it's not for really anything serious. It's just more for fun and just to share about how I feel about the editorial. So if you're interested, come on over to my Instagram, and it's every other Friday typically. There's not really a set date, but it usually happens on Friday. But
it's very me and Tag Tuesdays, where it's called Flip Friday, but it could be any Friday.
And sometimes twice on a Friday.
And maybe a Thursday. Some of them are saved to your Instagram.
They're all saved to my Instagram, to my highlight reel.
What's it? At Steve Limones Photography. I'll put it in the description as well. Go check that out if you're interested in hearing more about that. Steve is a photographer, and so that's his creative expression, his creative outlet. And I always think it's fun to get ideas from other creatives, even if they're in completely different fields, because some of it really translates, especially when you're looking at makeup. Like, this is the distinction I always make for people to, if you're an artist, don't just look at other people's drawings or paintings, look at other creative expressions and outlets. If you're an artist and you draw faces, go and watch a makeup artist transform a face, because they'll give you insight that you may not be even really understanding. In fact, I was listening to someone speak about facial fillers and Botox and stuff like that, and I didn't even realize when she was talking about all the different muscles. By the way, this is all natural. These lines, all mine.
Lines, yes.
I'm plump for a different reason. It's because I ate too much. But when I was listening to her talk about the way that the muscles in the face age and what happens to different the fullness in different parts of your face, that gave me an even better understanding as to how to shade and shadows and highlights and the contours of the face. Excuse me. Especially in regards to aging, because all of a sudden, I only ever draw faces that look quite young, but then I thought, well, if I wanted to age them up a bit, here's where I need to take out some of that plumpness. Here's where I can
add some shadow,
take
out some highlight.
A lot of the times I think I don't want to add age by putting lines everywhere. I don't want wrinkles everywhere. I just want it to look a bit more mature. Which means a more sallow cheek, a bit of more depth underneath the eye, because this is where the muscles start to separate from the bone structure. It was fascinating either way, and I didn't think I would get something from that scientific explanation. But all of it kind of helps. So especially for Steve, I mean, the things that I've learned from his photography especially is about light. So if you're someone that really wants to dimensionalize a lot of your art, looking at photography is a great way to understand how light affects the style, the mood, the face, the shape.
Totally.
And it's a really great way to even understand, and even in vice versa, like Steve learnt about lighting and the different zones that the face would pick up light, and how if there was a highlight that was like really hot and blown out, it wouldn't look as nice as a highlight that was soft and blurred. And I was like, oh, and he was learning how to make his portraits look more painterly. And I said, yeah, well, when you're painting, you don't usually just put a dot of white there. You would smooth it out and blend it out and make it nice smooth. So it kind of bounces back and forth. Not that I do it that way.
No, but the world's merry.
The theory is kind of the same, yeah, for sure. And makeup is super close because makeup, much like art supplies, is pigment and binder. So, I mean, you're almost using the same things. Some people even do their art with makeup.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen
get your hands on it cheaper. Just a cheap eyeshadow palette instead of pastels.
Why not?
Just use it.
Just put it over.
Use your finger. Use your makeup brush. Use a beauty blender. Do whatever you want.
Could you use a makeup brush? Probably like a.
They're made differently. I've used some makeup brushes
before.
Like
a blush brush? It won't really spread anything out, would it?
Well, all the brushes are made to handle water and pigment differently, and so a lot of those brushes are made for dry powders. Even for the foundation, like, pardon me, if you notice foundation brushes, like, it actually traps a lot of the makeup in there. So that's something that you really wouldn't want in a paintbrush, because whilst foundation is oils and silicones and everything, you can wash that out from those bristles, but an acrylic paint is plastic. So if you put a lot of plastic, if you put a lot of paint that'll eventually plasticize, it'll harden up inside the ferrule.
Right, and also then loses like the power of the bristles too, right?
Yeah, and even the taper and the contour of the brush. Like, I've used makeup brushes before, and even though some of them do work, it just is kind of the same price and better to use a paintbrush. But I mean, people are super resourceful and use whatever they want for anything. So I wouldn't be opposed to it, especially as a mixed media artist. You should just try everything. Try everything.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what I'm doing.
He's doing Flip Fridays over there. You don't have anything else?
We are launching Virtual Voyage on Monday. The Virtual Voyage 3, The Red Curtain Cruise, inspired by the films of film director Baz Luhrmann, who's my favorite film director, and it's kind of what we've been working on. And if you do join our Virtual Voyage, you will see some of just kind of the merging of the worlds.
Yeah.
Steve really puts
Steve puts his photography into Virtual Voyage as well, which is a really nice addition and more of that creative crossover that we like to look at and share with you. Also, Steve loves Baz Luhrmann, so
I'm obsessed.
Hopefully he's going to be bringing all of his favorite knowledge to the live streams.
It's not much, but I do really enjoy it.
Yeah, you love it. You can talk about it ad nauseum.
You think? That's very generous of you. Thank you.
Well, we need you to. Anyway, we're going to see you next Monday for Virtual Voyage. If you're joining us, again, I have sent out those coupons for return students, so hopefully you've got your hands on one of those at this point, because the course will go back to regular pricing once it starts on Monday, and we will be joining you for 2 weeks over there. I do still have plans to put YouTube videos up throughout then, so as per usual, you won't be missing out on anything that typically is available to you. Virtual Voyage is just extra, and for that experience, and if you want to have fun doing that. So I'll leave that up to you, whether you want to join us or not. I just have to stress one last time, if you do want to join us live. You get the most out of it when you're doing the live components. The replays are available, and of course you can still get a lot out of it there, but it's just a lot more fun to be in it live. So we'll see you then, and have a great day.
Thanks for having me.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for being here, Steve. Thanks for answering all those guy questions.
For all the guys.
Hopefully we haven't put too much guy into your day today.
A lot of guy things.
Those masculine questions. I mean, I really feel like a bloke now.
Yeah, talking about apps.
Just apps.
And conspiracy theories.
Cats.
So
all right, we'll see you again another time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.